Jai Shri Ram. I have written down these fundamental duties which are there in our Indian Constitution. Most people don't know that there are 11 fundamental duties, and if you read them, every child should be taught this. Let us look at some of them. The 11th one is parents and guardians should send their children to school. Unfortunately, I have seen many children are not being sent, and I do not know whether we can forcibly pick up these kids and put them in school, because parents and guardians who don't send their children, their wards, to school must have some fear of the law. Now, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, that's the first one. How many people are doing this? Hmm? To cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Eh? And we are now worshipping fake independence heroes, those who never did anything. But the real heroes like Subhash Chandra Bose, Ram Prasad Bismil, Ashfaqullah Khan, Khudiram Bose, uh, and Chandrasekhar Azad, and the list is endless. Veer Savarkar, who inspired everyone. Eh? We don't have a single lesson in school. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Every second day we hear some anti national parade and protest within the country, and the law enforcement doesn't know what to do. Politicians are busy pandering to their vote banks. Next, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. Every Indian, every Hindu should join RSS. Only then they will truly understand that the purpose of human life is to render service to all mankind. In RSS, we don't discriminate as to what religion that person belongs to. The only minimum requirement is to have some Desha Bhakti, patriotism. If they can't say Bharat Mata ki Jai and they can't say Vande Mataram, then fie on these fellows. To practice harmony and spirit of uh, common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, hmm, transcending religious, linguistic, regional, or sectional diversities, and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. So, how many practices which are derogatory to the dignity of women are being renounced? Women have to wear a particular dress code, isn't it? And women have to be, uh, you know, put in a harem. A woman has to tolerate having half a dozen other co-wives, eh? And women don't get an equal share in property, all in the name of religion. When the same constitution is saying this, how can we have a contradiction? How stupid is this situation? Eh? And nobody is talking, all great leaders. What greatness do they have really? If you can't raise a voice against the open injustice against women everywhere. They can't even go to some places. Okay, we are not talking about Sabrimala, don't mistake. That is a completely different issue. There are many temples in Hinduism where men are not allowed. So that is the sampradaya. It's not discrimination. Some idiots don't understand this. Whereas in other religions and in their holy books, women are openly treated as second class, third class citizens. So, next, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. How can we preserve the heritage when we don't even have lessons in school? We don't even know who the real heroes are. And when the leading political parties are in fact debunking, trying to debunk and ridicule Hinduism. So, the next, let us see. To protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for all living creatures. Oh, compassion. So, they are slitting the necks of goats and chicken and cows, and we are not even able to enforce Article 48, which is protection of Gaumata. And we have, this is, I think, slowly becoming very, very hypocritical. Look at the hypocrisy hits you in the face. So, this is a duty. But now there is a clash of interest now. We are, and they are killing, slaughtering all animals, including Gaumata. But on the other hand, we are told that this is our fundamental duty. Next, to develop a scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry, reform. Hey Ram, scientific temper. Where is the scientific temper? When all kinds of superstitions are allowed in the name of religion? Hmm? We Hindus are always willing to be reformed, and the Hindu society has had millions of reformers. Huh? So, whereas in other religions and other groups within our country, there is no reform, and you can't even talk about reform. You will be arrested. Then, humanism. Please try to understand what is the philosophy of humanism. The philosophy of humanism is very simple. If there is a conflict between a religious holy book or what might be actually good for society, you should go with what is good for society and reject that holy book. But is that happening? Is the question. Spirit of inquiry and reform. To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. That is another duty which we can't really uphold, because there are constant attacks everywhere. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity, so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. This is an activity which very few people, only Hindus, some Parsis, and maybe a small percentage of other people, Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists are also striving in this direction, and a few from the others. But I do not know. As long as we continue to have these reservations, which Ambedkar ji wanted only for 10 years, and now it is going on increasing, how can you strive towards excellence? Instead of a meritocracy, what we have created is a kakistocracy and a kleptocracy. And the last one, the 11th one, which was introduced in 2002, parents and guardians should send children to school. So the question here is, do you really understand these, and how would you go about meeting these categorical imperatives? A categorical imperative is an absolute moral law. That means you have to, you have no other option. You have to live up to these requirements. Are you really able to live up to this? That's a different debate some other time. Jai Shri Ram.